Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. The weather is finally starting to turn here in Canada. It snowed a little this morning, but it's late spring, coming up on summer. And so I figured it was a good time to show you guys a really cool project that I did last year at the shop with the guy who owns the shop for summer. A really, I think, awesome fire table made of mostly aluminum. It's pretty flashy. So that's what I'm going to show you in today's video. We're just going to take a quick look at how this thing was made and not the nuances of how it was constructed per se, but generally how it was made. I'll let you know a little bit about it, and then you'll see a quick video of it in operation because I'm excited for summer, and this kind of gets me in the summer mood, so to speak. So let's get after it.
So I guess the first thing you need to know about this thing is it is huge. And the second thing you need to know is it was done without any welding. So you can see here I'm working on a corner. We've cut all of the pieces on our large water jet and on a couple different types of saws. So this thing's made, largely out of aluminum. It's got some steel framing on the inside and a steel kind of structure that it's built on top of and everything. But the cutting didn't go 100% perfect on the large sheet, so lots of grinding. In fact, throughout this video, you will see lots of grinding. After I finished grinding everything I needed to on this table, my arms felt like they were vibrating for probably about 2 or 3 hours. They pretty much went numb. So tons of work to get all of this excess metal off of there and take that down as evenly as possible to get the corner worked out. And I had to do that on pretty much, 3 of the 4 sides. The other one was lined up perfectly. You can see I've got some screws in the corner here, some machine screws. This thing's all bolted together. I guess they're not really screws, they're more machine bolts. But anyway, it's all bolted together, but that'll all be capped after. So none of that's going to be visible. That corner isn't going to be visible. It's all very sturdily bolted together, and that'll be capped. So I did lots of work here with the grinder and with the sander to get this corner looking beautiful like this, to get it nice and even. And there's going to be a little bit more work done to this after to round it over a little more. But that's what we got in place to begin with. And now it's time to kind of start working on the aesthetics of this. I jump ahead to now as though that was a brief thing because it was short in the video, but it took a very long time. And here I'm continuing to work with the grinder, and now I'm working on giving this thing the look that it needs. And so it's very important here to do a bunch of measurements if you're doing the type of pattern that you'll see I'm doing. Get everything mapped out, get your lines as straight as possible, and control the width of the lines. Now, often when you see this kind of work, this metal art type stuff, it's a little bit more abstract. There's lots of waves, that kind of thing. And, that requires some creativity, and it's not easy by any means, but in a way, it's a lot easier than what I'm trying to do here because this is almost a geometric pattern that is, it's all coming out of the center. It's, a starburst type look, but trying to get it all even, get all the spacing right. I had to go over this a few times. I had to adjust the width of some of the lines and everything. It took a long time, but I think it was worth it. Here's what we end up with for the top. This is the pattern that I was looking for, and certainly there's some work to be done around the corners and stuff, which you'll see me doing here. So I go in and round over the corners more, and then I fix up the patterning on the corners. But that's the effect that I was looking for. So the lines start a little bit thinner at the top, and that's kind of the tough part, and then widen out as you go to the bottom. I did the whole top like that, and then it was time to move on to the sides and put my patterning in there. And I'm not going to talk about, what kind of pad I'm using and all that kind of stuff. This is, there are various techniques for doing this, and it's not something that I'm doing a tutorial on. I'm just kind of walking you through the process a bit so you can see what we did on this one. So as I made my way around the edges here, a few things to be careful of for this type of work. One, keeping the lines straight and vertical as much as possible, obviously. And 2, keeping the widths consistent. So I had to go over them, a few of them more than once because it's very easy. It's a little twitch, basically, to change the width of the line completely. So there's some care and attention required there as well. And by this time, my arms were starting to get a little bit tired and feel kind of numb. And, I'm complaining about it now because I didn't bother at the time. But, oh well. You can see the transition there from the top to the side. I'm trying to make that fairly even, and it looks pretty cool, but watch what happens when we move past it, when you walk by it. Look how the two seem to separate, how the top looks like it's moving, and the bottom changes, of course. It's got that holographic effect, but the top looks like it's moving separate and apart from the bottom. I love that. That was, I was really hoping I'd be able to get an effect like that. I don't work a lot with this technique on right angles, so I wasn't 100% sure that it would do what I wanted it to, but in the end, it did, and I'm very happy about it. That kind of trippy holographic separation effect that we've got there, while having pretty much a seamless transition from the top to the bottom. Very pleased with that. You can also, if you look at this now, you can see a couple things. One, there are corner caps on there now, and the fire table burner itself is installed. And two, this thing goes up and down. And it goes up and down pretty far, actually. So we've got a pretty big burner in there, and this has the ability to adjust to a number of heights, well, pretty much anything within a range. But it goes all the way from being basically down into the deck that you put it on, or whatever surface, to coffee table height. We've got programmed in there dinner table height if you wanted to eat at it, because it's huge. It's 5 feet by 10 feet. And bar height if you want to lean against it and have a drink. This thing is big enough to seat a ton of people. I think it looks awesome. You can see the bracket corners cut into the top there for the windshield. There's holes in the four corners for 4 umbrellas because of how big this is. And we've got underlighting on it. It goes up and down. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this thing turned out. So guys, I guess that's it. You can see this thing in action here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of this project. I'm really happy with it. And with the lights under it changing and everything, yeah, I think it's cool. Don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in seeing any of my other projects. And thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. And I will see you next time.